Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, and today we're going to be doing an X-Men 97 ranking. X-Men 97 seems to be pretty hot. There was a lot of reveals at San Diego Comic-Con. Jordan's on vacation, so I'm doing a solo today, so I'm doing a ranking. So I did make this tier maker so everybody can do it. So if you want to do this yourself, it'll be in the comments or in the description down below. So I've included everything that's out and what's been revealed. So some of these we obviously don't have in hand yet, but we're going to be kind of ranking this. You can do this ranking how you'd like, but I'm going to be doing this on how much I would like each of these figures in my collection, whether or not I have them, if they're out, am I going to be pre-ordering them or not. Again, you could do these the classic good figure, bad figure type of thing. I'm mostly just going to be going off of how excited I am for these to be figures. If you do want your X-Men 97 figures, they're sold out some places, but they're not sold out yet on Go New Meta. Go over there, check them out. Use code STRONG101 to get 10% off any of your orders, even if it's not X-Men 97 related. They're a partner of the show. We love them. Check them out. Starting off, we got Bishop. We'll probably just go through this in order. For me, some of these can fit in a comic display. Some are very more animated. I'm going to lean towards comic figures myself, so that's going to kind of skew my judgments here. Bishop, we don't have a short-haired Bishop in Marvel Legends. We have long-haired, we have a couple of those, and we also have bald Bishop way back in Toy Biz. To me, this Bishop is a little more animated than I would like. Still a decent figure. I think I'm going to put him as a C level. Next, Cable. Obviously, we don't have this in hand yet, but it's been revealed. It'll be coming soon. To me, this is all the way up in S tier. This is exactly what I want my Cable to look like. I grew up knowing Cable from the cartoon. This looks exactly how he looks in the cartoon, same colors. The Sasquatch one is close, but this one, to me, is better. Still a little bit on that animated side, but I think this is going to fit really well into a comic display, and this is probably the one I'm most excited to get out of the new reveals, at least. Then we've got the first Cyclops. We've got another Cyclops coming later, but this is your classic blue and yellow. I think this is good. I'm always going to prefer the VHS one, but this one does have the optic blast that the VHS one doesn't have. So for that, I think I'm going to put him at a B. Still a good figure, just not one that I necessarily need in my collection, but if I didn't have another Cyclops, this one would be a good one to have. Emma Frost. This one, we've had recently the Astonishing X-Men Emma Frost. That's good because I want to complete my Astonishing team. Overall, though, that cape is very hindering. This cape doesn't look quite as hindering, but I assume it's still going to be. But this is a much more classic, like Hellfire Emma Frost. I'm excited for it. I don't know if she's quite an S tier, but I think she should be an S tier. I'm excited to get her. Then we've got Gambit. Gambit was one of my favorites in the show. Episode 5, I've watched it countless times and cried every time. Gambit is the best. As far as the figure goes, I have this figure, and I think I actually like the Caliban and or retro Gambit a little bit more. So I think that's going to put him at a B. Still a good Gambit if you don't have a Gambit, but overall I think there are better Gambits you can get, and I do think Hasbro could do a better Gambit still. Madeline Pryor, I think this one's a good one. I know a lot of people were wanting the Engine of Vengeance Madeline Pryor, even, make it a little more skimpy and they would have been happier. To me, I like the look of this one. This is the first time we got Cable in the X-Men 97 wave. So I'm going to say this. I don't have this figure. I would assume she's probably hard to stand up. We don't have any other Madeline Pryors. I think I'm going to give her a B. That might be generous. Let me know in the comments. Jean Grey. To me, this Jean Grey is a little too animated. I don't love either of the head sculpts, and that kind of is the case for most of the X-Men 97 things. They're just very animated. They went heavy into that design, which makes sense because they're based off the cartoon, so they should look like the cartoon. To me, though, I like other Jean Greys better. Do I? Really, I don't know if there's that many great Jean Grey figures that I do love. I guess getting down the road here, we've got another Jean Grey coming in the line. To me, this one's a D. Very passable for me. There's nothing about her that makes me say I've got to have this one over the previous ones. Jubilee, I think the effects on her bring it up for me, because I've been saying that Jubilee needs better effects. I still think they could continue doing better, but I'm glad that she's getting at least some accessories that show off her powers more than just those like sparkly Dazzler effects or Scarlet Witch effects sometimes maybe. This is kind of her vampire-ish look. She doesn't have that kind of like alternate head. I think that would have been kind of a fun thing to throw in there, but also doesn't really make sense with the cartoon. I'm going to give this one a B2. Logan, I feel like a lot of people were not as excited about this Logan as I am. I've been wanting this look because, to me, whenever I think of like Logan in street clothes, I think of this because I grew up watching the cartoon. So I think for me, this Logan is going to be, again, we don't have it in hand yet. It's going to be an A tier though, because I'm excited to get this. I'm going to probably sell off my Sabretooth street closed cowboy Logan and keep this one as my street closed Logan. Then we've got Magneto. I think as far as a Magneto figure goes, this is everything that you need out of your Magneto of what we have so far. However, I do think they could do better Magnetos, but they haven't done that yet. So I think this one is kind of the best-ish that you can get for your money right now, because the other ones usually are more expensive. I don't know what he goes for now. I got him at retail and I haven't really looked at his price since. So I think because of that, and again, he doesn't really suffer from the animated face sculpts to me. S tier seems almost too high for him, but he's definitely an A tier. He's teetering on S just because he's more of a flexible character that you can put in your comic displays a lot more easier than you can with like Jean Grey. Now the Magneto with the big M on his chest. A brand new look for Magneto. New head sculpts. If I was going to do my some sort of a custom for episode 5, I would need one of these heads for Magneto. I don't love this look for Magneto though. I think I'm going to give it a C. Again, nothing against the figure itself. Next is Morph. This was the first one that they showed at San Diego Comic-Con this year. This one looks a little weird to me. Like maybe I'm just used to seeing the VHS Morph on that kind of buffer cartoon body. This one is much more like, to me it looks like a changeling morphing type of character's build. So I think they did a good job on that. Comes with 3 different heads. I don't know if this is one I need. I think I'm going to put it at a C, just because I do think it's a good Morph figure. Morph has never really been one of my favorite in the show, and I don't think this figure really makes me feel like I need them in my collection. Nightcrawler. And this one, I think, might be going S tier because, again, I don't love the heads, but I took my Nightcrawler from the Wendigo wave, brought those heads onto this Nightcrawler, so it's more of the comic look. Again, I didn't love the animated style of these, but I think it still would pass as a very good Nightcrawler for your displays. Wish it would have come with a sword, but getting a pinless Nightcrawler body I think was really good. So I'll give him an S for that. Rogue. Rogue's a hot seller. Very expensive. She got a re-release. To me, I don't know why. This one looks a little bit similar to Jean Grey. Too cartoony of a head to me, where it just looks almost out of place. You could fudge her into your comic displays, obviously, but to me, I didn't really love the look of her. So I think I'm going to put her down with Jean Grey at a D, just because, again, the overly cartoony faces don't really do it for me. She's lower on the list. Wolverine in the brown suit. I'm just going to bring over the yellow suit and brown suit at the same time, talk about them, because 2 Wolverines here. I have Logan at an A. Again, love the street closed look. To me, I prefer the yellow and blue costume for Wolverine over the brown and yellow orangish colors. However, I really did not like this Wolverine, which I know is a hot take. Some people, it's their favorite Wolverine in their whole collection. There's so many Wolverines, and they say it's the best. I say, I don't know what it was about him. I had him, and I sold him way too early because he started going similar to Rogue, where he was going for over 50. I don't know how high he got to, but wish I would have held on to him until then. But I sold him like right away at retail. Couldn't get rid of him fast enough. I think because of that, I got to give him a D. Maybe I should have spent more time with him, but he just was no good to me for some reason. The brown suit, I don't have super high of hopes, but it does look better from the promo shots we've gotten, I guess. It's hard to tell. I'll give this one a C just because I don't know yet. I don't know that this is one I'm even going to be getting, but if I did, I wouldn't be too upset about it. But again, I prefer the yellow and blue looks, so I just don't think this one's going to have a spot in my collection. Giant-sized look for Storm. I guess if we did Wolverines together, we might as well bring the Storms over. I could have, I guess, done that with Jean, Cyclops, Gambit, Rogue also, but we're doing it now. We'll start off with giant-sized Storm. I think the 2-pack giant-sized Storm we've got is a top 10 all-time Marvel Legend female figure to me. For some reason, this one just looked a little off. I don't know if it's... They had one promo picture of her next to Wolverine, and she was definitely supposed to be in a more flying pose, and she wasn't. Or it was like, level with Wolverine, and it looked weird. I think if she'd been flying, it would have looked normal, but anyway. I definitely want the update of the original 2-pack. I think this is going to be a good figure, and I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it a B, just because, again, there's something a little bit off about it, but I think once we see the figure a little bit more in hand, I think it's going to be great, and I love this. This is probably my favorite look for Storm, too. I do like the modern stuff, too. I don't know. Storm really doesn't have any bad looks, though. White-suited Storm, very classic. The papery capes, though. You've heard Jordan and I complain about those several times. Not a fan of those. The Mohawk head is cool, but I think I've got to give this one a C, just because the wing technology or the cape technology there, just, it's not there yet, and we've got to dial that in, Hasbro. You can do it. Jean Grey in more of her Marvel Girl look. Now this one I think looks pretty fantastic. Again, it's similar to the House and Powers of X that we've had. That one is probably a nightmare to try to stand up. I've had it and I was like, I'm not even going to try. Didn't like it. Sent it on its way. But now that we've got updated body, it looks like they've done some different tooling with the skirt so that she has more posing ability. So I'm excited for that. I think I'm going to give this one an A, because if this one turns out well, this is going to be my favorite Jean Grey in the collection. And going along with her is Cyclops, and he's coming with the Optic Blast. And this, I feel like Jordan's gotten me to like this look over the years. I didn't love it when I was younger. Growing older, you get a little more sophisticated with your taste in your action figures. And I think this is a really cool look for Cyclops. The Optic Blast, I have it on my Nemesis Wave Cyclops. That thing is pretty sweet. So I'm very excited for this. Definitely going to be pre-ordering that. I'm giving this an S tier. Next up, we've got the basketball 2-pack, and I really wanted to like this, but the more we look at that Gambit, the more odd it looks. I think they made a big whoopsie by choosing this, the starting lineup body. Should have just stuck with a Marvel Legends body, and it probably would have looked better. I get that was probably a much cheaper way to go with it all being tooled up already, but this Gambit just was we don't have it in hand yet. Maybe it's going to be better than we all think, but I think it's a D, unfortunately, because I want to like it. I want to get it, but the more I see it, the less I love it. Rogue, kind of the opposite. The more I see it, the more I do like it. I think some people have complained about the soft goods shirt. I don't know why. People want soft goods, and then they're going to complain when they get it. It makes no sense to me. I think the Rogue head looks really good. I just think the 2-pack that she's coming in brings her down a little bit, but I think she is better than Gambit. She's getting a C. Down to our last 3. The Sentinel. Now this one, we don't have it, but it's big. It's made to order. How's it not going to be awesome? I've got 3 pre-ordered now because I thought, past Dakota, thought that future Dakota was going to have more money and could afford 3. Turns out future/present Dakota does not have as much money as past Dakota was hoping. Current Dakota is probably going to have to cancel about 2 of these. Current Dakota is also hoping he can still get 1 at least. Time will tell. This is going to have to be an S tier, and it's going to be awesome. I'm sure it will be. And if you want to make current Dakota even happier, you'll subscribe, because look at this graph of how many people are watching the show and not subscribed. You're watching this far into it. You might as well hit the subscribe button. Let's go back to the show. Next up, Sunspot. Again, another figure that I think I'm happy that they included a new type of effect, because we got similar things that we've seen before, but it's kind of got that added twist of something new. So that's kind of interesting. I'm excited to see how that looks in person. I think I would have liked to have seen maybe an alternate head where you have the flamed on, I don't know what he calls it, but the flame on type of effect. But you could probably swap on, was it the strong guy wave one? I don't think that would make sense because he's got the bandana, so maybe that wouldn't work. But this is cool. I think what I'm more excited about this is that we could see this body reused for other New Mutants. I would love to see a New Mutants team. Way back when we made an episode, I said nobody wants a New Mutants team. Not too much longer. Now I want a New Mutants team. Eating my words. Sorry I said it, folks. But is this one super high on the list? I think as far as a Sunspot goes, I would say B, but I think the implications of later on makes me more excited, so I'm going to give him an A. Last on the list, Executioner. The only time we've ever gotten him in the line. All new parts here, I think. I don't know if there's really much reuse at all. Maybe under the overlays and stuff, I don't have this figure. I kind of wish I did, though, because it looks very cool. He comes with the extra weapons, just the full... Like, I thought his part in the show was cool, but I wish it would have been more. The only time we've ever had this figure, it could cross over into your comics. I'm going to say he's also an S-tier X-Men 97 figure. So there you have it, folks. This is my ranking of the X-Men 97 figures. Let me know where I went horribly wrong. What do you disagree with? If you want to share this with us, post it on Instagram, tag us. We'd love to see it. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.